nigga me. We're supposed to the ginger me.
Okay, my name is Jemilu Akpah Smart, popularly known as Mr. Smart. I'm called by friends as Mr. Smart. I'm a Nigerian from Kogi State, one of the states in Nigeria, living with disability and who has actually conquered beyond limitations that I've confer and trying to project myself to the wider world and live the acceptable life that I've ever dreamt of. Yeah, I think for the past 25, 26 years I've been in a wheelchair. I'm 29 now and I became a polio survivor at age 3. So right now.
So you were really young.
Yes.
And how has your experience been growing up in Nigeria with a wheelchair? What was your experience personally? First of all.
Yeah, personally, I grew up in a country. Nigeria is one amazing country that we have different social, political issues, economic crises, and stuff like that. So growing up with disability or growing up in wheelchair has not been very funny, but it has been one interesting journey, like a personal journey that I know I have inspired a lot through it. It has not been easy, right from primary school down to secondary school, from secondary school to tertiary institution where I graduated from the university. It has been very, very challenging, but both I've been able to manage myself till this very moment.
Do you feel like the community is learning and growing from you?
Yeah. If it is about learning from me, within my capacity, I'm one of the biggest motivation at the moment because I personally am into IT. I do technology stuff. From there, I'm also an entertainer. I do host shows, host events. Like I'm an MC, professional master of ceremony. So I've attended different events I've gone up to almost 10 to 15 states in the country. So I'm living an impactful life. It is one thing I grew up doing because I felt if not we to come out and tell the world our relevance, the world might never know how relevant we are to the society, and whatever is hidden has no place to shine. So I earlier pushed myself out and started interacting with the society, building myself. Those who I began to have connections. I go to shows, I speak, I manage events, and they trust me very well. I do that here.
What do you do in your free time?
At my leisure time, like you see some of my posts, I engage in creative writing. I read a lot. I do creative writing. I write. I feel I should be able to express myself, my concerns about the society. I write. Majorly, I advocate for persons living with disability on writing. Then at some leisure time, I do politics content too. So political content rather. So I do write them, but my major leisure time is reading, writing content, and strategizing on how I can actually make meaning. Like I really want to have this global attention. I really want to speak to the global world. So I keep thinking of how soon that will happen. I will let the world know there is no limit to what you can achieve. And there's no limit to anything you can ever become in life. I just want to be an inspiration to the world. I want to be the reason many souls wake to their dreams. I want to inspire people who have given up on themselves. And I'm doing that already. So having the opportunity to talk to the world is raising another generation entirely. I will use that opportunity as a platform to raise generations of people who have given up on their dreams and to see reasons not to give up. Because I've come this far. Not because I'm strong, but because I refuse to give up. From my personal experience, the issue of accessibility, to me, is a long walk to freedom. we have a long way to go. It's something you keep agitating for. Other groups, persons, individual bodies, and organizations to keep agitating for it until we have the perfect environment where no one is being neglected. I remember when I wrote an article on accessibility at the time, I mentioned part of the head of the tertiary institution in Nigeria here, while he was carrying out renovation in the tertiary institution. I made recommendation and suggestion that, okay, this place, there are needs for ramps. I wrote this article and I posted it, and he replied that, okay, he's very grateful for the insight. And today he has constructed ramps in the schools for people living with disability. So I feel if we don't tell the society what we go through, how will the society know? If everyone feels, okay, since I cannot go there, I should stay at home, how would they know you are capable of doing this? So for us, when we talk about, or maybe to talk about the aspect of jobs that we cannot have as persons living with disability, is because most persons living with disability who are meant to represent us withdraw from the race because they feel the environment is inaccessible. If the environment is inaccessible, you are to come there, let them know the environment is inaccessible. You are not only fighting for yourself, you are fighting for generation of persons living with disability to come and enjoy the legacy. So to me, I have every opportunity I would just want to make sure I achieve something here, if not for me, some other time, other persons living with disability will build upon that.
That's so important, because there's always going to be people behind us going places. So that's, I don't think about that. That's really great.
Yes. Sometimes when life seems so unfair to you, you should think that life is not even fair to a fair man. So no one, a black man like us, shouldn't even expect life to be that fair. So I accept every moment. That is the good moment in life. But otherwise, if you want to talk about the bad aspect of life generally, life has been very, very tough. The journey has not been easy, where accessibility will lead to neglect. You'll be neglected in a public place. You don't have access to phone. You don't have access to even football. You don't have access to worship centers. Like most churches in Nigeria, they don't have ramps that are accessible. So most places you think you can go and take phone, have your phone and have good moment. Oh, you don't have that. If you talk about the mega city, that becomes the worst, where in Nigeria, everybody is running into a car. That you can't even take it. Life is fucking not easy living with disability, except you are financially buoyant, where you can make provision for your personal car. Then you may think life is cool. Maybe you find a place that's suitable for you, you go. But in Nigeria at the moment, life is not really funny for us. Yes, but in most countries, the organizations, or do I call it a government parastatal, they're responsible for disability acts. They take actions on it. But in Nigeria, disability bills, whether passed into law, will just remain dormant. No one work on it. They can only say, okay, there's a provision that every office in Nigeria should have a wheelchair, but you don't see any. So if I want to go to any office, instead I go with my wheelchair, or when I get to the office, I should crawl. I should be able to come down and crawl to the office. And that is very, very, it destabilizes your mind. It makes you feel uncomfortable. It makes you lose composure. It affects you mentally. That's one thing about persons living with disability that I want you to understand too. Like your son, most times when anything inconveniences him, it's not really about him at that moment, it's about his mental status. You'll be so, a lot of thoughts will be going through your head. Whatever you are doing, you easily give you are not focused. And that is what I really want to fight for. Like within over time now, we should be able to handle the traumatizing issues persons living with this disability are having globally. It has not been funny. It makes the world so unbearable. And not all of us are fit. This is the problem. Some of us are fit. Somebody like me, I can fit into any situation. All I know is I should make change. If the way I am at the moment is not good for me, I'll keep taking a step forward until it becomes what I really want. But how about others? Not everybody is vocal. Not everybody can talk. Not everybody has this strength to interact. Yeah. You understand? So some of them, they feel if the environment is not cool, or if they cannot access this place, they go home with annoyance. In my case, I'll not go home. I'll project it. I'll make sure everybody knows that, okay, at this very entrance or this position, I'm being left behind. And that is very, very bad. So I will speak my mind and let the organization or the office knows that I'm being marginalized.
Yeah, that's important. I mean, that's huge, because even just to transfer to go to a vehicle, to go to a car, that's a lot of work that people don't think about, you know. It's not just mentally, it's bodily straining too. You get yourself more tired, you know.
Yeah, it's true. You are right. You get tired too. You get tired too. In the city, the federal capital, the capital of Nigeria is Abuja. You know that?
Abuja,
Yeah. Thank you. I've spent roughly an hour there because I couldn't see a car that will pick somebody like me. You know what that means, to stay under the sun in a very hot weather. You stay for an hour plus, you know, when all the drivers are not really interested in taking you because, all the stigmatization, marginalization from there, they think of how to fold your wheelchair, stuff. They feel challenging. All they want to do is to just go. They won't stop for you. So most of these things really, they don't really encourage persons living with disability in Nigeria to strive. I'll have a show. All I have to do is to go ahead, because I know I'll be having lots of challenges before I get there. So if I have a show by 4, anything 2, I should be closer to the venue already, because I know it won't be very easy for me, you know. Mm-hmm. So all of these things are really challenging, but over time, I'm very optimistic. All this will be settled.
Have you connected with other people with disabilities in Nigeria? Is there some sort of organization where they can find a voice or something like that?
Yeah, we have a joint National Association of Persons Living with Disability, JNAPAD. So it's an association struggling, protesting, making different efforts on how to achieve most of our goals, especially the percentage of the job sector. In the job sector, we have percentage in Nigeria designed that, okay, this percentage should be for persons living with disability, but in most of the organizations, we are not given. So most this association and other minor groups too, they go around, they do more of a protest, and it has been fruitful to some extent, but not really successful. Let me say 30% fruitful. But in my case, I don't really join them, because I'm this person that I believe in the digital world. Whatever you want to do today, let the digital world take over. If the digital world, just as I'm talking to you, if any other person who has the privilege to watch this, will learn from this, will know if they want to forward it, it will be easy to forward it to different groups, different people can repost, reshare this, and it will go the wider world, and they will definitely come to our aid. In Nigeria, it's a mess. When they go for protest, governments will send people to, mishandle these people, treat them anyhow. Like just as you said, it happens in Nigeria too. They'll use tear gas on them and send them away and scare them away, which is so unfair.
Yeah. The world has been taking all the bad turns in the last few years, I think since the pandemic. But I think there is still hope, and when I see people like you, I think there's still hope,
Yeah, this is the generation I want to build. I want people who can, be very, very committed to this fight. Because to me, life itself is a battle. You keep fighting till you die. So we are not even the only group of persons marginalized in the society. Even people who are physically able, they have lots of challenges. So if we decide, somebody like us decide to stay back and watch the government, nothing will ever come out of it. So you have to come, you have to lay your complaint, you have to keep agitating. Life is a process. What is really happening? Sometimes I don't blame the leaders, political leaders. One, it is because most of these people in Nigeria, they don't even have a deeper knowledge about what accessibility means in terms of infrastructure, If you are building a house, you should build a house that it should be accessible to all your children. You should think anything can happen to any of my child. So let there be RAM. But no, Nigeria, nobody thinks of that. If they want to erect the building, they'll just start work and just like that. Most of the buildings in Nigeria that were owned by or were under the control of the British government then, most of these buildings are very accessible. Most of the hospitals that were built those years, still in Nigeria, they are very accessible. They have ramp to all the offices. You get. But why can't Nigeria government replicate this idea and build the country on this? Instead, all we have is upstairs without elevators. So how do you expect us to go to 9-story building without elevators? So these are very, very annoying, and I hope with time, when we begin to involve in politics, involve in social this thing, we'll definitely, once we keep clamoring for this and we keep pushing for it, definitely at the right time we'll get things right.
Yeah, it's gonna be a struggle, and we have to keep on it.
Thank you. You use the right word there. It's a very big struggle. It's a struggle, and struggle never ends. So we'll keep struggling until we get what we want.
You are not treating me, help me. I'm in jail, bro. Please don't help me. I don't want to die. Hey, come out.
And they could only got me. We're supposed to be ginger me. After one or two bishiki, mudenele hindami. I dey drink garri. If any no day, I dey drink.
In my case, even all through my education, once I don't find that the environment very easy for me, I'll start writing letter to the concerned authorities. I will inform every single person involved. That is just it. So these people need to understand you. If not until they understand you, there will be no provisions for you. But most persons living with disability, they keep quiet over this. And you don't expect busy people to start thinking about how you are surviving. In a country that everybody is running helter-skelter, you don't expect people to think that everybody is fighting in Nigeria. There is no money, poverty, lots of things. So people are not really normal. So you have to let them know your challenges. Come forward. Okay, tell the head of your department. For instance, in my case, I wrote to the head of my department, these classes I won't be able to access. Now I don't have access to read because there is no ramp and I will not be able to go upstairs. I won't be able to grow. Say, good, that's a good idea. He called a meeting. They had a meeting within the lecturers. They agreed, and all through my studies, no class was taken upstairs. All my class were taught downstairs. You understand? It is because I let them know. So if other persons with disability begin to do same, I think this thing will definitely be better for us.
Before I forget, music. What music do you listen to?
Oh, music. Most times I deal with Nigerian music. I like our vibes. I like because at the time earlier I wanted to go into music, but I got discouraged earlier, so I gave up on music a long time ago. So I think I vibe with Nigerian music. I listen to Nigerian music a lot. I hope to meet your fans and your followers. I hope they get to know more about me, and I'm open for collaboration. I do article writing, content writing. So available for anything. Should it be remote jobs? I'm available for it too. So whatever. Awesome. So, okay, thank you. No problem.